a Problem podcast. I'm here with a special guest this evening. I'm recording it. You'll get it in the morning probably. But I'm here with a special guest regardless. My man, Chris Manning, the managing editor at Fear the Sword, which is SB Nation's Cleveland Cavaliers blog. How's it going, Chris?
It's good to be here, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yo, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Like I said, so you're like me. You're like a low key sneakerhead. I think. Like I don't know. Are you like super deep into like sneaker territory where you have like 50 to like 60 pairs of shoes? Or are you just like?
Oh, I'm so much more low key in that. Like I'm balling
Okay.
on like the like let me creep and like I have like a list. I have like a note in Evernote of like the shoes that I wish I had money to buy and like stuff that I really like. Right, like there were 4 or 5 pairs of the Kyries and the KDs last year in particular that I've just like kind of mad at myself for not buying. Like I don't know if you remember I don't remember what the exact name of the colorway was, but there was those like aqua white and navy blue KD9s that I just loved, and I'm like really mad that I didn't
Yeah.
buy them when those Nike sales come up. I have a list of just stuff that I wish I had, and I have like an ideal repertoire of sneakers like I like to buy, and like just what I'd like my ideal collection to be. In terms of like I probably have like nine. I probably have like 9 kind of what you would define as sneakers right now, and I wish I think like if I was gonna be like trying to be like slightly minimalist, I would like to have like maybe 15 would be kind of like my ideal thing, because like there's just only so many you can functionally wear.
Right.
But I will say this: like if I ended up ever being able to cover basketball full time, I think I would go up to like 30, because I think I would have more of an excuse to wear them.
Yeah, see, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Even though, like, and I probably shouldn't be here, but like a lot of this has been accumulated over the years. Because like I've always been like I've never considered myself a sneakerhead, as I've said on here before. But like I've always low key been into sneakers, and now I'm trying to kind of make it a thing where like I'm really into it. You know what I mean? So like you said, I only have like maybe 9 or 10 pair that I wear, but like I'm pretty sure I'm pushing 30 at this point over like the last 7 years or so, which is like not terrible. So
Yeah, is there like one shoe you wish you owned, like that's actually gettable? Like you were on like my podcast and we talked about like the South Beaches and how, and then you like tweeted me like how much they were, and I just screamed a little bit inside. But like,
yeah, I was gonna say no, definitely
yeah,
not.
is there like a shoe that like if you would just wish you had right now that you own? Because I have one that's like very, and it's sort of like a simple option, and there's a specific scenario that maybe you want to get them. But there's like, because there's one pair that I'm like I kind of wish I had them.
I don't think there's like a specific pair. Maybe like because I don't own a Jordan 1, and I really want a pair of those. But like the first thing that comes to mind is an actual Ultra Boost shoe. Like I don't have like I have shoes with Boost in them, but like I don't have the actual Ultra Boost. Like I have nothing
Mhm.
Ultra Boost, which is like really weird because I love Adidas.
Yeah, Adidas, I gotta say, has like in the last, that's been like my switch in the last 6 months. There's been a lot more Adidas stuff across the board. I wish I don't have a pair of Jordan 11s, and I feel like I should. That's kind of
Yeah, that's a good one.
my thing. Because like I
That's a good one.
saw when I was at the finals last year, like there's like a group of writers that all had like different like actually they might have had the same pair of Jordan 11s actually,
Did they
but I was
plan
like,
that
oh,
out?
like dude, I don't know, like I don't want to, I'm not even gonna like name who it was, but like I was just like standing in this like really crowded press room, like waiting for like someone to come down, and I was just like standing behind like this row of people, and I was like, oh, let's see how people. I was very curious to like just superficial like see how people were dressed, and um just in that environment,
Mhm.
and there were like 2 or 3 guys in all in a row that had Jordan 11s on. I was like, oh, like and like still looked like, like not like a bum, so
Right. Yeah, that's those.
because yeah, so I was like, yeah, you could definitely, I was like, oh, that would be, because they're like modern, and they're all, but they're not like some of they have like a modern look still, and yet they're not like overwhelmingly designed out like you see some
Right. They're
shoes.
still retro, you know?
Yeah, they're still retro. Like I'm looking at like these 11s right now, like they're black with the clear bottom and the white and like a blue Jumpman logo, and like that's perfect.
Right.
And 220 is like about as high, as I would go, but it's not great, but it's also like you're paying for retro Jordans, like you're gonna have to pay a little
The
bit.
Jordan 11 is like a go-to. Like if you're gonna wear a sneaker to a wedding, somebody asked me this the other day, like what sneaker would you wear to a wedding? And I think like the Jordan 11 is like easily what you should go with.
Yeah, it depends on, but like it also depends. If I was gonna do that, it would depend on like how like much I like the person whose wedding I was going to.
Facts.
Because if it's like a person like I like that I like dearly care for, like I'm probably gonna wear dress shoes, like just to like, cover my bases. But if it's just like, I'm gonna cut loose a little more, like probably sneaker for sure.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I wanted to get into the LeBron 15, right? Like, so this is for those of you who don't know, this is LeBron's latest model on his main line, not the Zoom Soldier line. It's the 15th shoe, right? And like, it's a really weird looking shoe. Like, it has all of this new technology in it. Apparently, like, there's this battle knit stuff and the Battle Max sole that it has. Like it's weird looking, but I guess innovative in a way. And over the last week or so, LeBron has kind of showed off some of the different colorways that are going to be released in the next few months. The shoe actually releases on October 28th, which is I guess about a week and some change after the regular season starts. Of course, LeBron will be wearing them probably in the first game of the year. But yeah, I'm kind of interested. And he also says that this is by far the what do you say? Like the most recent, his favorite recently released shoe from his collection, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see like what do you think about the shoe? I think we talked about this a bit briefly before, and we didn't really have a great look at it.
Yeah, the picture was kind of bad, I think, of what we did. Like, he wore him at UCLA pickup game. This is like kind of maybe like a kind of a boring opinion, but I kind of think the most interesting thing about the 15 is how they've chosen to lay it out and how to sort of release it to people, right? Like, I don't know if you got the press release, but there was like this Nike release that he was going to be at this fashion show at New York Fashion Week and wear them there. You have like one of the first colorways we've seen, like, is the floral ones. These white shoes with with like a very floral colory design, and it's almost like I don't know if you I remember reading the story last year in the New York Times. Like, there was literally a New York Times story about how LeBron's like they're trying to release the 14s as like a collector's item at the beginning, right? Like that was what they're trying to do because the sales had been kind of disappointing, and that was what they're trying to do. To me, this feels like they're trying to do like a Yeezy light release of these LeBrons and like try to get you really hyped for them. And they have that sort of look. There's the zipper, there's the BattleTech or whatever it's called, and like it's like it's just like this very like interesting release thing for me where it's like it's not like he wore them in a pickup game, but then he's like you're really seeing them at New York Fashion Week, and they have this sort of like a Yeezy ripoff, but like they have a Yeezy sort of vibe to them in a way that like other LeBron shoes just haven't, especially with like just how it looks in the zipper. And it's a very interesting decision because like I wonder like what the problem is because like you and I were, and I think like a lot of people would kind of agree with this, like the 14s are just kind of whatever, like they're nothing crazy. And it's like this is like the complete opposite way they've chosen to release the shoe.
Yeah, this is definitely the first time I've ever seen LeBron with a rollout campaign like this for a shoe. Right, like for him to go to Fashion Week 1, it's like that's a big deal for LeBron, who's not really like he's always been fashionable, right? But like I've never seen him like go kind of hardcore into fashion. And like when you go into Fashion Week, that means like you either you're really into it or you have a product that you're pushing, right? And so like you said, he debuted the floral colorway at Fashion Week in a kids fashion show with Ronnie Fieg, no less. Like that's crazy to think about. For LeBron James to be a 6'8", 2 whatever he is, LeBron James to be in somebody's fashion show, showing off his shoe like that was insane to me. So like that instantly, like that caught my eye. That shoe caught my eye, and it kind of like it gave us a different look of the shoe, like seeing it on court was one thing at the pickup game. Like then I was kind of like, the shoe isn't all that great. But like seeing it like in lifestyle and just being worn as a fashion item, which is kind of my thing, for sneakers, like that kind of sold me on it. Like I don't know if I'm going to get the shoe, but like this is the first LeBron shoe where I'm like, okay, like, or the first LeBron shoe in a while anyway, where like I'm like, okay, I can wear this to a club, I can wear this to a party or something. And like this is also like the first time I think he's intentionally had a shoe with that in mind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree, because he's like not Russ. Like he's not Russ in this way that he's like a fashion icon. Like LeBron, I think, has like been in GQ and he's generally like a very well dressed guy, but he's not bold like Russ, right? Like he's not
Right.
doing these wearing like he's a classically he's more like he's not a square, because a square is like that old kind of older distinguished gentleman vibe, and LeBron isn't quite that, because he's not that's more of like the Kevin Love aesthetic, but like he's not quite like the as far crazy GQ experimental fashion as like Russ is, right? And
Right. Or even like a Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, like even like a Wade, right? That's a really good point. And it's just like interesting because like I can't imagine he will ever wear the florals in a game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Like we'll probably never see that, right?
Yeah, and like I think when you look at how we've looked at how we've like you look at what LeBron's shoes and it's almost like what when he wears something pretty distinct, it's been something he wears in a game. Like his like he doesn't have like many shoes, and some of that's because he's not as far removed. Some of it's just because they haven't retroed a lot. It's like a lot of his stuff his iconic stuff he's worn in a game. Like this, we talked about the Soldiers and like I don't exactly remember if he wore the South Beaches a bunch, but those are something that are like it's a really really good just basketball shoe. Before it was like this really expensive secondhand market shoes. Like it's interesting that like it's like the we saw the gray and we've seen the floral print that we're in a fashion that I would be borderline surprised if he actually wore those in a game, because even last year when he had really cool PEs, player exclusives, like he wore stuff that was generally Cavs colored, and I imagine like opening night, depending on what jersey they wear, he's gonna have something that, even if it's a monotone shoe, like it seems like some of his main colorways might be with just some accent, if it's just matches the Cavs' jerseys in some way.
Right. Did you get a chance to check out any of the other colorways of the shoe? I know we have the they actually released Nike actually released a name for that initial colorway that we saw. I think it was like ash or something like that. And then there's like this ghost one, right?
Yeah.
That I saw that was I think it was kind of tan-ish. And it was a pretty good color, man. Like I'm thoroughly impressed with this shoe. Like the thing about it for me is the zipper. Like that's what kind of sells me on it, because like it's weird, it's different, but like at the same time it builds on the aesthetic of the shoe, right? Like I can wear this shoe with or without strings, I think. Like that's
a question. Like we don't, I kind of need to see, because it is interesting that you still have the laces when you've seen him have, it's the Soldier line, but he's had two shoes where there are no laces, and like the KDs, I'm pretty sure don't have laces now.
Right. Yeah.
So like you could, and just like the look of the shoe, I wonder if like some of that is because if this was, I don't know, and I wonder just because of the sport who he is, and despite him having these ankles that just never seem to that he can shrug off rolling them, because he does it all the time. If you just watch, he just kind of shrugs off like him rolling his ankle. I wonder if just because of who the shoe is designed as a Model 4, like that's why you have the laces. I don't know. Like we can't really know that, but I wonder if because like I can imagine this. I just wonder how tight the zipper would actually be. But like I kind of want to know. I don't know if like you saw if you're referring to like the picture he put on his Instagram of the couple colorways. I actually really like the sort of, I don't know exactly what to call it, but the navy and the green both have this sort of faded look to them, and I kind of like those as just a casual shoe I wear with jeans. And even the floral, like in that context, I think is kind of, if you're bold enough to do it, like I dig it, and I think that's a very interesting change from what, like, I would have done it with the 14s. It's borderline that you would have done it with any of his recent shoes.
Yeah, like that. This is something like this is LeBron going out of the box, right? And like I don't know how much insight he actually has on the design, because like normally they have teams of people who kind of deal with this. Like they always have, the one main designer, like a Leo Chang, for example. I don't know who specifically does LeBron shoes, but like Chang does a lot of Durant shoes, and he worked with Irving on his first shoe, I believe. So like I'm just wondering like how much input LeBron actually had on this one. And maybe that's why this shoe, like he seems to love this shoe more than other shoes that he's released in recent years. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair to like kind of wonder if he if that's part of it, right? Like I think he does have just seem to kind of enjoy this, and I think you are seeing, just in the promotion of this, and that's something he's obviously, just because of who he is and how he approaches all of this. LeBron is someone who is very just kind of conscious of this. Like everything for him is very calculated, and I think last year he played up the mystery really, really well with him not really like pushing the 14s as much. Like that was part of the overall Nike plan. And then, you look at what he's done with the Air Generation retros. He's kind of hyped those up as a retro thing, and like just the limited thing. And then with this, it's a very showy aspect of it. And I'm very curious to see, Cavs Media Day is still 2 weeks away. He hasn't been in a situation where he's dealing with basketball media. He always has. I want to say last year he might have worn the Soldiers. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that. I have to go look at like the USA Today wire and check. But I wonder if he wears something just to kind of continue this trend, because that'll be his next real public appearance, aside from like maybe working out with Dwayne Wade and posting the videos on his Instagram. I wonder if he wears something else that's a version of what we've seen, or something new-ish to kind of push kind of what he's doing now, or if he'll wear the florals on media day to kind of when he's really wearing a jersey, but he's just walking around and taking photos and answering.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Make sure you take pics.
Mike, and to the listeners, like I promise you, when I'm at Cavs Media Day, I will get like everyone takes photos of like their own photos and sends it out of like LeBron at the podium. I will just get a picture of his feet. Like of him and his shoes. Like he'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm just like, "I'm just trying to get the shoes, man. Like I'm
just
here
trying to get the shoes,
like,
bro. Doing you a favor."
Yeah, I'm just doing a favor, man. Like I will. That will be like my whole point that day. And because it's always an interesting it's always interesting to see like I was just maybe more so than it's media day, so like it's not like a big thing for that. But I kind of wonder if that, because it's just going to be so obvious what he does if he wears something kind of crazy that day.
Right. Well, we appreciate you and the work for the people, Chris. We appreciate that.
It's for the culture.
For the culture. From one Cavs legend to another, right?
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving, right? He's obviously in Boston now, which stinks for the Cavs, but it probably is a great thing for Nike in his shoe. Not that Cleveland's a bad sneaker market or anything, because like when you're winning, everything sells, right? Mm-hmm. But Boston is it's kind of a legendary place, low key, for shoe culture, and so I'm curious to hear what you think about how the trade will affect his the way his sneaker looks, but also the sales. It should be noted that he was he had the second highest selling signature shoe in the league last year, only behind LeBron James, ahead of Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and also James Harden.
Right.
So I mean, do you think this benefits him in any way in particular?
He will be the only guy on that team with a signature shoe. If he is like sensational all year and does play himself into a higher basketball stratosphere, I wonder if that would help him. I'm really curious to see how his shoe gets approached design wise. You know,
Hmm.
like Boston does have like that, like the reputation, but it's also it's not the most like it's two colors and it's a very traditional palette. Kyrie, if you look at some of Kyrie's shoes though, it's also like he hasn't always necessarily the colorways that are released for sale. They're not exact. They haven't always just matched the Cavs' colors. Like they
Right.
haven't done that, and that obviously makes sense. And even if he wears PEs that were matching that, like the shoe that released last year, the first one's the Samurai. It was like
Right.
it was
Yeah.
red. And he always has the Duke. He always has a Duke colorway that comes out, and there's some funkier ones, and I wonder if they continue that. And I really am curious. PEs are one of my favorite things to just kind of see what guys are wearing. And if you get, especially the higher level guys that have their own shoe and see what they get, I'm really curious to see what he gets in Boston because that isn't, if he's going to wear shoes most of the time that match the jerseys in some way, I wonder like what they do with that and how they design it. And I wonder if he would ever, they've been out and then now it went from the release of the Kyrobis to glimpses of the Kyrie 4. I wonder if he'll like wear the Kyrobis or get a Kyrobi 4 that he just wears in a game. Like I wonder if he'll get something like that in this year that is sort of him trying to make his do his Kobe moment. And I wonder if like there will be some play up of that because like there is that tie there for him. And again, like I'm really curious to see what kind of PEs he get because I've always kind of liked what they've done with him. I love his shoes. Always been like since it's come out, it's been one of my favorites. It's been comfortable, and he's had some really, really cool stuff. And I wonder if they're going to do some of that with what is sort of just a green and white scheme. And like because there isn't any. There's not like there's like a cool third
It's
color you can
hard.
do a shoe on,
Right.
right? It's green and white.
It's a hard. I mean that like you can make some pretty dope colorways with just those two colors, right? But like the thing is like there's not a lot of variety with that. Like I don't think the only other colors that I can remember the Celtics wearing over the years, like didn't they have a alternate Adidas jersey? I believe like
They had a gray sleeve jersey from what I
yeah,
remember.
which is like those are dead now,
Yeah,
right?
all
So
right, yeah,
like
thank God.
RIP sleeve jerseys. So no, I mean there's just not a lot to work with there. But like Kyrie, I think he's always kind of been unconventional in what he's worn on the court. And like even when he was in Cleveland, if I recall correctly, like there were a lot of times where like he just kind of wore something that was off the wall and not exactly matching the team colors that the Cavaliers were wearing. And like that's one thing that I've always appreciated about Irving in his shoe game is that like it's a sleek shoe that a lot of people like, but like he also gives people variety, right? Like he's not going to make you wear just team colors specifically. Like I think that's one beef that I've had with Durant over like the last couple years was that like his shoes they always came in right like you got the Oklahoma City colorways with like the blue and the orange and then like a variation of that blue right
Mm.
like it's kind of boring. Then you had a lot of the ways this year. I think they did try to do a few more things this year. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed I so far anyway, I've enjoyed some of the KD tens. Like those red velvet are really good. They're really good. But yeah, there just wasn't a lot of variety with it. But like Kyrie's shoe has always had a ton of that. So it'll be interesting to see if that changes at all, especially like you said, this place of so much tradition. Like it's hard to kind of break from that when you have you know legends like Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and all those guys kind of on your back all the time, right? Like even I mean, you don't think of them necessarily when it comes to like shoes, right? But like that kind of stuff matters. Like breaking out of the mold is kind of it's difficult to do in a place like that.
Yeah, and two, but the other side of this is he's now someone with a very high selling shoe that is the as much as Gordon Hayward you could argue is the better player. Kyrie is the bigger star in terms of recognition and just his brand, you know, which I know is like a weird thing to say sometimes, but like it's true.
It's a fact.
It's just true. Like, yeah, he's got like a freaking movie coming out based on a Pepsi commercial. Like,
that's so crazy.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be bad. Like it's probably gonna be terrible. Like if it's just better than Thunderstruck, it's a win, right? Like that's just kind of
right. That's the bar.
Yeah, it's the bar. It's a super like low bar, but you maybe they'll just like give him the freedom, and Nike will, to just kind of just because like he is someone that matters to them as a player and as a brand for them, and now he's in this situation where he's his own guy, and I'm not smart enough or sourceful enough to know how Nike viewed him and LeBron and them being on the same team, but I wonder how the strategy now shifts with him in terms of marketing Kyrie and stuff, like, because it was like him and because I'm sure they would never. They're still probably not going to have him and LeBron have stuff come out at like the same day or something, but with like they'd be put in packs together, or they'd have certain releases. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see like I kind of want to see if they give him something really cool for opening night. If they're doing this with LeBron, and they're gonna have this big marquee game for Kyrie, where he's gonna be in Cleveland on opening night, I wonder if they give him something huge for opening night, or some let him wear it for the first time on opening night, and where he'll wear the 3 in preseason, and then make the switch to the 4 on opening night.
That would be incredible. That would be incredible because the 3 release, his shoes normally release around like Christmas time, right? Like I know the 3 released on Christmas Day last year, right?
Yeah, the 3 with the samurai pack in the app, it was in the sneakers app, was the only way you could get it on Christmas Day.
Right. So yeah, I mean that would be incredible. Like I mean, one, like that says a lot about Kyrie as a player, because like I mean, on the same stage as LeBron James, like I don't think Nike's saying that they're peers in terms of skill, right? But like, I mean, Kyrie is popular as hell nationwide, right? Like Kyrie is one of the most known players. Like if you just asked a random person who didn't watch the NBA, if you held up a picture of Kyrie Irving's face, they could probably tell you who he is, just because, well, I mean, he's just a really fun player to watch, and he hit one of the biggest shots, if not the biggest shot in NBA history, right? So like that in itself is, I mean, that's a lot of star power. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like I have no clue what they'll do as far as opening night goes, but like it would be interesting to see them kind of clash LeBron and Kyrie like that. I don't know if Nike would necessarily do that because of the that it could have on sales, but I mean maybe it's a positive impact. I have no clue.
It'd certainly be like a moment. And Kyrie does like have his own, like he's gonna be more separate now. He is someone that like will be like, even if they're retroing, like they're in the point now where they're retroing LeBron's, and like in kind of thinking about what the future of LeBron's just overall brand is. That's not what you have with Kyrie. Like this is a guy going into his prime that's taking on his own, and I wonder if there's some extra push there for him. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. But I'm like very curious to see like what they do with the 4. And I think too, like it helps too that he also just has like the affordable price point amongst the Nike shoes, like that I think that ends up mattering a lot.
Yeah, that it definitely does. Like that's a huge thing from people that I've talked to, just marketing experts within the industry. Like that's part of the reason why the shoe sells so well, along with his immense star power, which is like a thing that people really underestimate shoes in general.
Yeah, no, I think 100%. I think 100% that's the case, that it matters a lot that he has that price. Because that was one of the things with the KDs. It hurt the KDs that they were so expensive.
Yeah, definitely. And it doesn't look good enough to. That's another story for another day. That's another tangent for me to go on. Actually, I have a big beef with that. Do you think it's Kyrie is Kyrie the biggest star in Boston? Not in terms of like, but like, is he the most recognizable player since? Wow.
Pierce, KG.
I don't know. I mean,
KG has like
KG definitely had some off the court appeal, right? But like, dude, I don't know, because KG was so difficult as a person, right? Like I don't get that from Kyrie Irving. Like Kyrie Irving is like he's super mysterious, but like I feel like people still gravitate toward him in a way. Like KG was just an asshole.
Yeah.
That was the thing with him. That's what made him so difficult for.
Yeah, and Kyrie has like the crossovers and everything that just make him really fun. That kind of
Right.
separate him from everybody else too. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I would guess it'd have to be KG or Pierce, but it's different too. Like he's just so marketable, and he has the shoe, and he has this Uncle Drew movie, and he has just it's a different type of fame, and that's interesting in itself.
Yeah, like I honestly, like I don't remember the last time a Celtic was in like a major commercial or a major marketing campaign since like Larry Bird, which is like, like
Yeah,
I don't know. And maybe that's inaccurate. I'm not a Celtics fan, so like I have no clue. Celtics Twitter, come at me if you know I'm wrong for a fact.
yeah,
But like I mean, Kyrie has a huge opportunity with this shoe.
yeah. No, I think 100% he does, and it's kind of nuts that, and they've put a lot of money into him, so that's worth noting that it's tough that he's someone who they really have put just a lot of money and stuff behind Kyrie in a way that you only do if you want that person to keep being a star.
Okay, so Nick DePaula just broke that literally just broke that Russell Westbrook signed a 10-year extension with Jordan Brand. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I would give me a crazy Russ shoe and I'm in. Like I just want like to do crazy Russ stuff, and I'd be super in. I don't like he's gotten stuff that's cool. I think he makes sense as the face of Jordan.
Yeah,
because like if you just look at who else is like kind of on that imprint, it's like what, like Melo, Kawhi, and Chris Paul.
Jimmy Butler, but
Jabari on there maybe.
Yeah, he is there.
But like
Blake
I
Griffin.
mean, but it's just like Russ is
Russ
just
won MVP and
yeah,
averaged a triple double. So like
and he's a fashion icon, and like more so than Nike, I think Jordan has like this reputation as just a streetwear shoe, a streetwear brand,
Yeah.
even if it's not like if it's not exactly that, but it's part of what they do. It's like you wear Jordans more casual than you would like anything else. So, I think it makes a lot of sense. But I hope like I would really hope you get to see Russ designing things. That's like what I want. Like I just want some crazy Russ designed shoes.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like I want him to have a shoe because he has a 0.1 and 0.2, right?
Yeah.
Like, which I mean, those are kind of trash, right? But like him to have a great basketball shoe. I feel like that has to be a thing for him at some point with this brand. Maybe he doesn't want it to be a thing. I don't know. Like,
I don't think he does. I don't know Russ, and like I can't say that, but like, if you think about how he answers questions that aren't about basketball,
yeah,
I wonder if he just like wants it to be the same to be his mark. Like he just doesn't care.
Yeah, I can definitely see that with him. I feel like he made the 31 his shoe. Like I think of that shoe, I think of Westbrook, which is I talked about that on the last pod. Like I don't know if that same thing happens with the 32, but like enough to take a shoe and make it his own, I think.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, congrats to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Average your triple double. Please
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah, and they have and it's interesting too. Like they have the why not like shirts, the shirts and stuff now for Nike with him.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they would like ever brand that as like a colorway in some way, but
they have to. It would be a totally missed opportunity if they don't.
Yeah, because you have like these kind of basic shirts that are just why not, and then there's one of him like a white shirt with him on it, but and like a hoodie with the why not is on the over the pouch, but I wonder if they would. I would a why not colorway or just and like like does he get like is there a Jordan sneaker that becomes like his in a way, even if it's still like Jordan, whatever number?
Right. Yeah. I don't. They have the opportunity to do a lot here with Russ. I'm very excited to see of this. I wonder what the dollar amount is because like I think previously it was 5 million. That's what I've seen on Forbes. That's a number I've seen floating around the internet. So I imagine that it's much bigger now. But
yeah, let me ask you a question. There's like also just all these players like Giannis and Levine and like the Riz and a Wall that have like uncertain sneaker futures. Is there a player out there that you think like could be the face of something? And like, where would you want them to go? Where would you want them to go? Like, if you were gonna say like some player that doesn't have like a shoe could get, or just like a brand around something with a company like Adidas or Nike or Reebok, is there a player you think like really could benefit from that? Because I think it's Giannis, and I think it's with Adidas because they just have like they're still making a D-Rose signature shoe.
Yeah, that sucks. No, I 100% agree though. I do think it's Giannis and Adidas if they manage to scoop him up like that. That's huge for them. One, because of the foreign appeal that he has. Like for Adidas is not an American-based company. It's actually German-based, which is like not the same as Greece, right? But like the foreign appeal still it still resonates there. And I think a player like Giannis, like you already have that international appeal set in stone. Whereas like if you took a player like John Wall, for example, who was previously with Adidas, like you still have to kind of build and work toward that too much appeal on a foreign scale or even a national scale. And in some standpoint. So like I think Giannis, especially as a 22-year-old phenom who could be one of the best 3 or 4 players in the league in a year or two, like I think picking him up for Adidas or Under Armour, whoever, like if Nike even manages to retain him, like that's a huge thing for them. Like I don't really like no one else really comes to mind because like the rest of the up and coming players in the league that appear to be Karl Towns and Kristaps Porzingis and Joel Embiid, like those are all big men. So
yeah, and like Nikola Jokic is dope, but like no one's buying a Jokic signature shoe.
Yeah, like that's like I feel like that would be like you would have to go to like Anta for that. Like they give him like the the Delhi One treatment.
Yo, shouts to Matthew Dellavedova for getting his own shoe. That's just, like your dreams can come true. That if you're Matthew.
Yo, call those the air tenacities, man. Like that's what I'm calling those from now on.
Yeah.
The air grit and grind.
Yeah. The like you get like the dirty roll colorway, like where he's rolling over Al Horford's like ankle and shit. Yeah, just all kind like all sort of euphemisms for just his like really just how he plays the sneaky athletics. Yeah, I'm in on like just
Yo, I would buy those.
I would too. If they made like a sneaky athletic deli, I'd get them. I'd totally get them.
Oh God. Oh, this is. Oh my God. Okay, we have to end here.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go but down from this moment.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Is there anything that you want to plug before you hop off?
Yeah, if you just like, if you want to follow me on Twitter at CDBamRights, we'll probably get a mix of sneakers and me complaining about people being mean on the internet. But find everything on fearthesword.com, and if you want to read about the Cavs, that's where you should go.
Yeah, shouts to Fear the Sword. Some of the best Cavs coverage I've ever seen in my life.
I apologize for anyone who has to follow and read Justin Rowan, but everything else is great.
No, Justin's cool,
Justin.
but I feel like I also feel like Justin's a low key Warriors fan now. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but Justin has taken the shape and form of Warriors Twitter, and it's just he's just a troll sometimes, and I'm just what are you doing, guy?
Yeah,
this isn't your role.
Yeah, I'm down to. I think that's a good conspiracy theory of Justin, that he's actually secretly a Warriors fan and he's converted, and maybe one day he'll do the heel turn on us. But for now, yeah, Justin's over there with us.
All right, shout out to Fear the Sword and everybody over there. Thanks again so much for hopping on here with me. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Mike D Sykes. Follow me on Instagram also at Mike D Sykes. Get ready for this newsletter to pop off on Monday. I haven't really thought of a name for it. I guess I could go with the I Have a Problem newsletter, but I was trying to think of something different. So if you guys can come up with any names that you want to send or anything like that, go ahead and shoot me those. I will tweet the subscription link religiously throughout this week. So go ahead and subscribe to that. I will send you sneaker content from across the internet, including some of my own, of course. The better releases that I think are coming out. So if you're into this podcast and you're into shoes and you have a shoe rack, go ahead and hit that subscribe link or whatever. I don't have free shit to give you guys yet, so the t-shirts will be coming at some point, but just hold on for me. All right, guys, peace.